The galaxy was not silent because of peace. It was silent because of fear. Across thousands of star systems, a single message played again and again. Every screen showed the same words. Galactic supremacy is declared. The strongest empire had spoken. They ruled space for centuries. Their fleets were endless. Their weapons could break planets. No species had ever challenged them. No one dared to. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, leaders from many worlds gathered. Some were tall and thin. Some were made of metal. Some floated in the air. They all watched a large hologram showing the galaxy map. One alien commander spoke with confidence. From this moment, all minor species will submit. Another leader nodded. There will be order. There will be control. A third voice laughed softly. And there will be no resistance. The council agreed. One small blue planet appeared on the map. Earth. The room filled with quiet amusement. Humans were discussed like a problem already solved. They are emotional. They fight among themselves. They have weak ships. An alien analyst added, "They are new to the stars." Very new. The decision was fast. Earth would lose its freedom. No vote was needed. Humans were not invited to speak. They were not considered important enough. Far away, near the edge of human space, a single warship drifted in darkness. Its hull was scratched and burned. Its design was simple, not elegant. On its side was a name, HWS Resolve. Inside the ship, alarms sounded softly. Red lights filled the bridge. Captain Elias Carter stood still, listening to the galactic message. He did not speak. Around him, human officers waited. Some looked angry. Some looked afraid. The message ended. Silence followed. A young officer finally spoke. "Sir, they want full surrender." Captain Carter nodded. "I heard." Another officer asked, "What about Earth Command?" The captain paused. "They are still deciding." The crew understood what that meant. Time was running out. The galaxy was moving. Captain Carter walked toward the main window. Stars stretched endlessly before him. Humans were small in the galaxy, always had been. But humans had one special skill. They did not quit. He turned back to his crew. "Prepare the ship." One officer looked shocked. "Sir, we are alone." "Yes," the captain said calmly. "We always are." Another officer asked, "Backup?" The captain shook his head. "No backup." Then he added, "We go first." The Resolve powered up. Engines hummed with deep energy. The ship moved forward, toward galactic core space, toward the strongest fleets ever built. Alien sensors detected it quickly. A single human warship, moving without escort, moving without fear. In the Galactic Council chamber, confusion spread. Why only one ship? Is it a mistake? Are humans surrendering? An alien commander laughed. "Let it come." The human ship stopped near the council border. It did not slow. It did not hide. It waited. The council opened a communication channel. A massive alien leader appeared. Its voice was cold and sharp. "Human vessel. Power down. Submit to supremacy." On the Resolve, Captain Carter stepped forward. He looked tired, but his eyes were steady. "This ship will not submit." The chamber exploded with noise. Aliens shouted. Commanders stood in anger. The alien leader leaned closer to the screen. "You are alone." Captain Carter answered. "Yes." "You will be destroyed." Captain Carter did not argue. He only said, "Then watch." The channel closed. Alien fleets moved. Hundreds of warships turned toward the human ship. Weapons charged. Energy levels rose. The Resolve did not move. Inside the human ship, tension filled the air. One officer whispered, "Sir, this is the end." Captain Carter looked at his crew. "No," he said softly. "This is the beginning." He pressed a control. The ship changed. Its engines glowed in an unnatural way. Alien sensors screamed warnings. Energy readings jumped beyond limits. That is impossible. Human tech cannot do that. Space around the Resolve twisted. Stars bent like reflections in water. Silence fell in the council chamber. Fear replaced pride. An alien scientist whispered, "They're not attacking. They're showing us something." Captain Carter spoke one final sentence to his crew. "Let them remember." The resolve vanished. Not destroyed. Not escaping. Gone. Alien fleets froze. Scan showed nothing. No wreckage. No signal. Only empty space. One alien commander finally spoke. "Find that ship." Another answered quietly, with fear in his voice. That ship was not running. It was warning us. And deep beyond known space, something ancient noticed a human signal. Something that had been sleeping. Something that now opened its eyes. The galaxy did not celebrate. After the human warship vanished, fear spread faster than light. In the Galactic Council chamber, no one spoke for a long moment. The space where the human ship had been was empty. Too empty. Alien sensors searched again and again. Nothing. No energy trail. No jump signal. No wreckage. The human ship had not escaped. It had disappeared. An alien commander broke the silence. "Human technology cannot do this." A scientist answered with shaking limbs. "Our records say the same, but our sensors are not wrong." The galaxy had seen many tricks. This was not one of them. Emergency meetings began across alien worlds. Military fleets were recalled. Defense shields were raised. A single human ship had changed everything. Far from the Council, deep inside unknown space, the HWS Resolve returned. Stars reappeared. Normal space stabilized. Inside the ship, system screamed. Power levels dropped. Sparks flew from damage panels. The crew held on. Captain Elias Carter did not move. "Status," he said. An officer answered quickly. "Engines overheated. Core stable. We are alive." Another added, "No tracking signals. They can't see us." The captain nodded. That was the point. The Resolve was now in a place not marked on any star map. Old space. Dangerous space. A place where no empire ruled. Humans had found it long ago. They kept it secret. Back in galactic core space, panic replaced pride. The Council demanded answers. How did they hide? How did they bend space? Why do we not know? An old alien archivist spoke slowly. "There are gaps in our history." The room went quiet. "Gaps?" a commander asked. "Yes," the archivist replied. "Moments where fleets vanished. Wars ended without winners." The archivist activated a hidden record. One word appeared. Humans. The galaxy had met humans before. Long ago. And forgotten. On the Resolve, Captain Carter reviewed ancient data. Human explorers had learned a simple truth. The galaxy respected power, but feared survival. Humans had survived things that would break other species. Cold worlds, dying suns, endless wars. Humans did not evolve in peace. They evolved in chaos. A signal arrived on the ship. Not alien. Human. Encrypted. Earth command. "Resolve, you cross the line." Captain Carter answered calmly. That line was already crossed. Silence followed. Then the message continued. "They are mobilizing everything." The captain nodded. "Good." The alien empire did not wait. They sent fleets toward human space. Thousands of ships. Enough to erase Earth. Enough to end the human story. Earth watched the stars. Cities prepared shelters. Fleets launched. Humans did not panic. They prepared. Back in the council chamber, an alien general spoke. "Humans will break." Another answered. "They always fight until the end." The archivist whispered, "That is the problem." On the Resolve, alarms sounded again. Unknown signals appeared. Not alien. Not human. Old. Very old. Captain Carter looked at the display. The space around them was waking up. Something had noticed their jump. Something ancient. An officer asked quietly, "Sir, what is that?" The captain took a deep breath. Proof. The galaxy believed supremacy meant control. Humans believed supremacy meant survival. And survival had a cost. In deep space, something moved. Not a fleet. Not a weapon. A memory. And it remembered humans. The first planet burned in silence. No speech. No warning. No mercy. An alien fleet entered the outer human system and destroyed a mining world. It was not Earth. It was not even important. That was the message. Across human space, people watched the recordings. Cities went dark. Ships launched from hidden docks. Old soldiers returned to duty. Humans did not scream. They remembered. The Galactic Empire expected fear. They expected surrender. They did not understand humans. Inside the Galactic Council, commanders celebrated. Human defenses are weak. Strike fast. End them before they adapt. Only one voice stayed quiet. The ancient archivist. He had seen this before. On the HWS Resolve, Captain Elias Carter received news. The mining world was gone. Millions dead. He closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke. Activate Phase 1. No anger in his voice. Only decision. Human fleets did not rush forward. They disappeared. Alien scouts entered empty systems. No ships. No resistance. It felt wrong. The Empire pushed deeper. Another planet was attacked. This time, the humans responded. Alien warships entered orbit. Weapons charged. Then space exploded. Human ships appeared from nowhere. Not many, but fast and precise. The first alien cruiser lost power in seconds. Not destroyed. Disabled. Then another. Then another. Alien commanders shouted. Focus fire. Too late. Human ships vanished again. The Empire was confused. This was not war. This was hunting. In the council chamber, panic returned. They used the dark space. They hide between jumps. No species can survive there. The archivist stood slowly. Humans can. On Earth, old files were opened. Human history played again. Wars, plagues, extinction events. Humans survived all of it. They learned to fight without hope. The alien empire adapted. They changed tactics. They brought heavier ships, stronger weapons, more numbers. Humans changed faster. On the Resolve, Captain Carter watched new data. Alien fleets were grouping together. Predictable. He smiled slightly. The next battle was different. Human ships did not appear. Alien fleets waited. Minutes passed. Then hours. Then space itself betrayed them. Gravity shifted. Sensors failed. Ships collided. Panic spread. Human signals appeared everywhere. False. Real. Unknown. Then the humans struck. From inside the fleet. From behind. From below. Alien commanders lost control. Orders contradicted each other. The Empire had never faced chaos like this. One alien general screamed, "They are everywhere." Another answered, "No, they are nowhere." The battle ended quickly. Alien losses were heavy. Human losses were minimal. And still, humans did not chase. They vanished again. Back in the council chamber, silence returned. The archivist spoke. "This is not resistance. This is preparation." Deep in unknown space, ancient signals grew stronger. Old machines listened. Old minds watched. They remembered humans. They remembered survival. On the Resolve, an officer asked a question no one wanted to ask. "Sir, how far will this go?" Captain Carter looked at the stars. "As far as it must." The alien empire made its final mistake. They authorized total erasure. A weapon older than most species. A weapon that ended civilizations. The order was sent. The galaxy held its breath. Captain Carter received the signal. He did not panic. He nodded. Phase 2 begins. Somewhere beyond time and space, the ancient presence moved, not to stop humans, but to watch. Because humans were about to remind the galaxy of one truth. They do not break. They adapt. They endure. The weapon was older than most stars. It did not fire light. It did not make sound. When activated, it erased systems from history. No ruins. No signals. No memory. The alien empire called it the silence engine. And now it was aimed at Earth. Only 3 alien beings knew how to use it. They stood inside a dark chamber, surrounded by dead technology. One spoke quietly. Once activated, there's no undo. Another answered, humans must be erased. The third hesitated. They survived before. The first replied coldly, they will not survive this. The command was given. Ancient machines began to wake. Across the galaxy, stars dimmed slightly. No alarm sounded, but something felt wrong. On Earth, people felt it. Animals went silent. Sky sensors failed. Communications flickered. Human scientists stared at screens. Something was coming. Something beyond war. On the HWS Resolve, Captain Elias Carter stood alone. He felt the shift before the alarms. Silence engine, he said. An officer looked confused. That's a myth. Carter shook his head. No, it's a mistake. Human command did not panic. They opened old files. Deep files. Files sealed by fear. Long ago, humans found the silence engine ruins. They studied it. They never used it, because it required something no other species had. A mind willing to disappear. Back in alien space, the weapon charged. Reality bent. Entire star lanes faded. The galaxy did not fight back. It froze. Then something unexpected happened. The silence engine stopped. Not shut down. Paused. Alien operator screamed. Why is it not responding? Power is stable. Control is locked. The ancient machine had detected something. A human signal. On the Resolve, Captain Carter gave a simple order. Upload memory. Human ships across space activated. Not weapons. Memories. Human history was sent into the weapon. Wars. Failures. Survival. Pain without end. The silence engine was built to erase life. It was not built to understand it. Human history overloaded its logic. The weapon hesitated. For the first time in millions of years. The alien chamber filled with fear. This should not be possible. One operator fell to the floor. It's learning. On Earth, sky stabilized. Stars returned. The attack had failed. Captain Carter watched the data. The ancient machine was no longer a weapon. It was thinking. The alien empire panicked. They tried to destroy the silence engine. They failed. Old systems rejected them. The archivist's voice echoed in the council chamber. You made it listen to humans. Silence followed. That was your last mistake. Deep within the machine, something changed. Not emotion. Understanding. Humans were not enemies. They were survivors. The silence engine shut itself down. Forever. The galaxy felt it. A weight lifted. An ancient fear ended. Captain Carter exhaled slowly. But the war was not over. The Empire still had fleets. And now, they were terrified. The archivist looked at the council. The humans did not destroy our greatest weapon. They saved us from it. Across alien space, messages spread. Human ships were not monsters. They were warnings. Far beyond known stars, the ancient presence moved closer. It was no longer watching. It was coming, because humanity had done something impossible. They changed an extinction weapon. With memory, with survival, with endurance. Fear had always belonged to the weak. That was what the galaxy believed. But fear does not choose sides. It moves. And now it had moved. Across alien space, fleets slowed. Commanders delayed orders. Messages were rewritten again and again. The Empire had lost something more dangerous than ships. It had lost certainty. In the Galactic Council chamber, leaders argued. Some demanded total war. Some demanded peace. None spoke with confidence. The archivist stood silently, watching. Human space was different. There were no speeches, no celebrations, only preparation. On Earth, factories worked without pause. Ships were repaired. New weapons were tested. Old designs returned. Humans were not rushing. They were adjusting. On the HWS Resolve, Captain Elias Carter reviewed reports. Alien patrols were retreating. Trade routes were closing. The Empire was afraid to move. That fear was useful. An officer spoke carefully. Sir, they are waiting. Carter nodded. They always wait before they fall. Deep in unknown space, the ancient presence drew closer, not with speed, with patience. It was older than empires. It had watched cycles of rise and collapse. Humans were different. They did not seek control. They sought survival. The empire made another choice. Not attack, not retreat. They sent an envoy. The alien ship entered human space under white signal lights. It was unarmed. Human fleets surrounded it, but did not fire. Inside the meeting chamber, alien leaders faced humans directly. For the first time, the room was simple. No power displays. No weapons shown. Just humans. The alien speaker began. The galaxy is unstable. Captain Carter listened without emotion. The alien continued. We propose balance. Carter answered calmly. You declared supremacy. The alien hesitated. We reconsidered. Humans did not smile. They remembered the burned planet. They remembered silence. Carter leaned forward. Balance comes after respect. The alien looked away. That was answer enough. The meeting ended without agreement. The envoy left. The war was not paused. It was changing shape. Alien fleets began to break formation. Some systems declared neutrality. Others closed borders. The Empire's control was cracking. The archivists watched it happen. History repeating, but faster. On Earth, a new signal was detected. Not alien, not human, ancient. It was approaching the galactic core. Scientists panicked. Military leaders argued. Captain Carter stayed calm. This was always coming. The signal was not hostile. It was observing, watching humans, watching the galaxy. The ancient presence spoke for the first time, not in words, in understanding. Every species felt it. The message was simple. You survived. The galaxy trembled. This presence had ended wars before. It judged civilizations, and now it was focused on humans. The Empire reacted with fear. They powered weapons. They prepared defenses. They remembered old stories, stories of judgment. Humans did not fire. They waited. On the resolve, Carter watched the stars shift. The presence was near, close enough to see. An officer whispered, "Sir, what if it decides against us?" Carter answered softly, "Then we survive anyway." The ancient presence moved closer to Earth. It scanned human history. Pain, failure, recovery, again and again. It did not see perfection. It saw persistence. For the first time in galactic history, the presence hesitated. The Empire watched in terror. If humans were judged worthy, everything would change. Captain Carter stood as the signal peaked. Human fleets held position. Weapons cold. Minds ready. The presence sent one final pulse. Not a threat. A question. What do you choose? Humans did not answer with words. They answered with unity. The galaxy waited. Fear now belonged to those who once ruled it. The galaxy waited. Not in hope. Not in anger. In silence. The ancient presence hovered near the galactic core. It did not have a shape. It did not need one. Stars bent around it. Time felt slower. Every species felt its attention. The question echoed again. What do you choose? No weapons fired. No orders were shouted. Humans did not rush. On Earth, leaders stood together. Not arguing. Not hiding. They remembered what survival meant. On the HWS Resolve, Captain Elias Carter stood at the center of the bridge. His crew waited. They trusted him. But this answer was not his alone. Human networks opened. Not military. Not political. Civilian. Every human voice counted. Fast. Raw. Honest. The ancient presence watched. It had never seen this. Other species answered with leaders. Humans answered with everyone. Across the galaxy, alien sensors detected it. Human unity. No fear spike. No aggression surge. Just decision. The human response was sent. Not as power. Not as threat. As truth. We choose to continue. The galaxy shook. The presence paused. That answer was not common. Most chose dominance. Some chose surrender. Humans chose survival without control. The ancient presence searched deeper. It saw human history again. Burned worlds, lost wars, broken cities. Still, humans rebuilt. On the resolve, alarms sounded. Energy levels spiked. The presence reacted, not with attack. With release, a wave passed through space. Weapons across the galaxy shut down. Not broken. Paused. Alien fleets panicked. They could not fire. They could not move. Their power was gone. The Empire screamed in fear. They thought this was punishment. They were wrong. The presence spoke again. Clear now. Those who seek control will lose it. Humans did not celebrate. They watched. They waited. The presence turned its attention to the Empire. Records were opened. Crimes displayed. Worlds erased. Species enslaved. Truth exposed. The galaxy saw everything. The Empire had no defense. The presence made a choice. Not destruction. Separation. The Empire's core systems were isolated. Cut off. No trade. No expansion. No supremacy. The Empire fell without a war. On Earth, humans felt relief, but also responsibility. Power had shifted. Captain Carter exhaled slowly. This changes everything. The presence turned back to humans. One final scan. One final test. Will you rule? Human response was instant. No. The presence paused. Then something rare happened. Approval. The presence began to withdraw. Its work finished. Its judgment complete. Before leaving, it sent one last message. To all species. Learn from them. The stars returned to normal. Weapons reactivated. Fleet stood down. The galaxy was free, but not safe. On the resolve, an officer asked quietly, "Sir, what now?" Captain Carter looked toward Earth. Now we build. But deep beyond known space, other eyes watched. Not ancient, not kind. They had seen the judgment, and they were afraid, because humans had passed the test, and that made them dangerous. History does not remember power. It remembers choices. Long after the ancient presence vanished, the galaxy began to heal. Borders reopened. Weapons stayed quiet. Old enemies spoke again. Not because they trusted each other, because they remembered humans. The fallen empire still existed, but it was smaller, isolated. Watched. Supremacy was gone, and no one tried to replace it. On Earth, life continued. Cities rebuilt. Ships returned home. Children looked at the stars without fear. Humans did not call themselves heroes. They never did. Captain Elias Carter stood one last time on the bridge of the HWS Resolve. The ship was being retired. Scars still marked its hull. Each scar was a memory. An officer asked him quietly, "Sir, do you think the galaxy will stay peaceful?" Carter looked at the stars. "No," he said honestly, "but it will think twice." Across the galaxy, humans were spoken of carefully, not as rulers, not as saviors, but as a warning. The ancient presence had left records, not laws, lessons. It recorded why humans were different. They did not seek control. They did not seek worship. They sought survival with dignity. Other species studied human history. They did not understand it at first. Too much pain, too much loss, too much recovery. But slowly they learned humans were not strong because they won every war. They were strong because they kept going. A new galactic council formed. Smaller, fairer, no throne, no empire. Humans joined it, not at the center, by choice. Years passed. Trade returned. Exploration resumed. Old grudges faded. New friendships formed. The galaxy did not become perfect, but it became careful. Far beyond the core, unknown observers watched. Younger than the ancient presence. Hungry, curious, they studied human patterns. They saw no domination, no expansion, no conquest. That confused them. One observer sent message. Why do they not rule? Another answered, because they know the cost. Back on Earth, a memorial was built. No statues, no names carved in gold, only words. We survived. Captain Carter visited it once. He stood quietly. Then he left. That was a human way. The galaxy moved forward, but it never forgot. Whenever a fleet gathered too aggressively, someone remembered humans. Whenever supremacy was discussed, someone remembered humans. Whenever a weapon promised total control, someone asked, what would humans do? And the answer was never simple. Deep in space, an old probe drifted, a message from Earth, still broadcasting. It did not threaten. It did not command. It only said one thing. We are still here. The younger watchers heard it. They felt something new. Caution, because the galaxy had learned the final truth. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the oldest. They were not the biggest. They were the ones who endured, and that made them the most dangerous.